In this lesson, we're going to discuss finding area of rectangles and of irregular figures. So first, let's review our formula for finding area. Our formula for finding area is the same as finding the base of a three-dimensional figure. Area equals length times width. Now, we also know that when we're finding area, we're finding the area of two-dimensional figure, a flat figure, in other words. Could be the area of a yard, could be the space inside of a room, could be a pole cover. It's a two-dimensional or flat space that you're trying to find the area of. So anytime you're finding area, you're representing your unit, whether it be centimeters, inches, feet, yards. You're always going to make sure that when you write that unit at the end of your answer, you're going to represent it with a 2 exponent, also meaning squared. Now, let's pretend we're given this problem. We're given this rectangle. We're given that this side is equal to 2 centimeters, and we're given that this side is equal to 5 centimeters. How are we going to find the area? Very simple. Let's plug the dimensions that we have in to our formula. But first, let's ask, do we have the length? Yes. The length is usually the long side, and we could say that's 5 centimeters that we have here on the bottom. Do we have the width? Yes. The width is here. It's 2 centimeters, and the width is usually the short side. But we know that because of the turnaround rule in multiplication, if we multiply 5 times 2 and we multiply 2 times 5, we're still going to get the same answer. So we have our length and width. We're just plugging it into our formula, multiplying the two numbers together to find our answer. So I always like to rewrite my formula. Area equals length times width. Now I'm going to rewrite my formula with my numbers plugged in. Area equals, we said the length was 5 and the width was 2. Area equals 5 times 2. So area equals 10 centimeters squared. The unit we measured this rectangle was centimeters, and we said that that was going to be a squared unit because it's finding area. Anytime you're finding area, your unit will be squared for your answer. Okay, now let's look at this figure again. The same figure. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. We said the bottom was 5 centimeters, or the length was 5 centimeters. The width was 2 centimeters. Now this problem was pretty simple to find the area of because we were already given the length and the width. Sometimes you're going to be given figures that are irregular. They're not a perfect rectangle, and you'll be asked to find the area of that figure when it's not a perfect rectangle, and sometimes you're not already given all the information you need. So to help us with those more complex problems, let's take a look at this simpler problem before we move to a more advanced one. So if we say that this length down here is 5 centimeters, does that mean that we can say this at the top is exactly equal? We see that it's a rectangle. These sides going up the right and left are straight. So directly across from this, yeah, we can say that this is 5 centimeters too. Just the same, let's look at the width. The width is 2 centimeters on the left. So can we then say that even though we weren't given this dimension for the right side, can we say that this side is 2 centimeters as well? Absolutely. Given the information that we did have, 2 centimeters here and 5 centimeters here, we could then assume and know the length and the width of the exact opposite sides of our rectangle. Moving on to a more complex problem now. We're given this figure. Now, we're given 5 feet on the bottom, 5 feet on this side, and both these short sides, 2 feet, 2 feet, are equal to 2 feet. Now, first step. We know that this is an irregular figure. We know how to find the volume, the area of a rectangle, but we don't know how to find the area of a figure like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to take this figure and we're going to try to make it into two different rectangles. Two places you could cut across are here to make it into two different rectangles, or you could even make it here into two different rectangles. Now, either way would be absolutely fine. Wherever you decide to cut your shape to make it into two rectangles would be fine. So let's keep it here where we have it now. Now let's think about what we know. Well, just like we said before, if this bottom area here is 5 feet, we know that straight across from it, this whole space here would be 5 feet as well. We know that this side here is 2 feet, so straight across from it, this whole side here would be 2 feet as well. So to find the area of our first rectangle on the bottom, I'm going to rewrite my formula. Area equals length times width. Area equals, for this rectangle here on the bottom, 5 times 2. And just like our figure before, area here equals 10 feet squared. Okay, now let's look at the next rectangle that we broke our irregular shape into. That's this rectangle up here in the top. And I'm actually going to change colors here to make it a little easier. Let's see if this worked. Perfect. A little easier to see. Now we're going to try to find the area of this rectangle. All right, now what we know so far, and from the dimensions we're given, not just from this rectangle that we're finding now, but the rectangle on the bottom as well, this top side is 2 feet. Now this 5 feet on the left, that's not just for this side here, but it's for the whole side that I just showed in red. So now we need to think about what we know from the bottom. Now we said if this side here is 2 feet, then straight across we know this side here would be 2 feet as well. And that's just from here to here. Well, if this whole side here is 5 feet, and this small section we said here is 2 feet, then what is just this section right here? Well, 5, take away your 2 feet that you have here, and you know that this side is actually equal to 3 feet. Just like we could assume that the side straight across here is equal to 3 feet as well, if the side directly across from it is 3 feet. Now, I'm going to get some of this mess out of the way here. So we said that this side, just from here to here, is 3 feet long. Now we have the length and the width of our second rectangle. So I'm going to rewrite my formula. Area equals length times width. Area equals 3 times 2. So area of this rectangle equals 6 feet squared. Now, we've separated our irregular shape into two separate rectangles. We've found the area of each rectangle. Now we want to find what the area of our whole irregular shape is in all. Keywords there are in all. So the area of our bottom rectangle is 10 feet squared, and the area of our top rectangle is 6 feet squared. 10 feet plus 6 feet would equal the area of this whole irregular shape to be 16 feet squared. You're simply finding the area of each section and then adding them together to find the area of the whole section. Remember, your unit will always be an answer squared, or your unit squared, and your formula for area is always area equals length times width. You're multiplying together the two dimensions you have, the two different sides, and you add the area of your two separate sides or your two separate sections to find the area of the whole irregular shape altogether.